So I was searching on the internet today. Hey everybody. I was searching on the internet today. Just, I'm always on YouTube looking at different stories randomly. And one story usually leads to another link. You guys know how it goes. So, anyways, I came across, what did I come across first? I think I came across, it's free, swipe your EBT, that video that was made by this woman, Latoya somebody. I think she goes by the name of Chapter. So anyways, I saw that, and then I came across this story. And it's a story of a woman. She's only 37 years old. And she has, they're saying that she has, well, the headline says 15, but I only counted 11. But at any rate, she has a bunch of children. And she's living in a hotel room. I'm going to play you guys the story, but I just first want to say it's very easy for people, and I can play devil's advocate for either side of this. But it's very easy for people to say, especially when it's a black woman. If this were a white woman, I don't know that people would be so goddamn outraged about it. But a black woman will definitely, get some fires started. When they see her with 11 children and no husband, obviously, and, can barely feed her kids. So I'm going to argue both sides of this, because on one hand, I can say, it's easy to get upset with her, but when we're paying out billions of dollars in bailouts to banks that have $1 million executives, multi-million-dollar executives, how the fuck can you be angry that some, 37-year-old black woman has 11 kids and you have to contribute to her and her children being taken care of? But you aren't angry, or you're not upset. You're just now getting upset. It's taken years, decades to get upset about bailing out these fucking banks. So on one hand, that's my argument. On the other hand, I'm thinking to myself, how in the world can a woman of her age not be intelligent enough to know that she's out of her realm on this? This is above and beyond her ability. And at some point, she should have stopped and said, you know what, I'll wait until I get married, or, I'll have my tubes tied, since I'm obviously not into birth control. When does the common sense kick in, is my point. When do you say, I need to stop having children because look at my life. Look at where I am now. And for all the people who want to argue that, well, yeah, she's living high on welfare because she's getting all this money because she has so many children. I don't know that a woman, I don't know that she's getting all that much money if she's living in a hotel room. Like 11 children, let me just think about this. 11 children. Now, I guess I have to go online to see how much, and I guess that's exactly what I'm going to do while I'm sitting here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go online and see just how much a family of 4, or just a family gets from welfare. So let's see, welfare benefits, California. Let's start there.
County Health and Nutrition Hotline. Press 1 for English, oprima 2 para español.
The problem is that their website doesn't give you much information. Cash aid, let's see. Doesn't tell you shit. So the website is saying that welfare benefits of cash and services. Hold on, you guys. Hi, I just have a general question that I can't seem to find the answer on your website. It's 90277.
Okay, thank you. What are you applying for?
I'm not applying for anything. I said I just have a general question.
Okay.
I'd like to know how much a mother receives monthly through welfare for her child. Is there a set amount for the child and a set amount for the adult?
There's a set amount for 2 people.
So would that be 2 people as in 2 children, or 2 people as in 1 adult, 1 child?
1 adult, 1 child.
And how much is that?
$351.
So it's $351 for 2 people, and then if she has additional children, how much more does she get?
Well, it increases, but I don't. What are you calling about yourself? Or
But does it increase by a certain amount, or does it? How much does it increase?
For 3, the amount is $714.
$714. So it looks like they added another almost $300. Well, actually over $300. Is that 2 children and 1 adult that it's $714?
It doesn't make any difference. It's only a 3.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So, I mean, these people, they're such idiots. Like, she wants to know who's it for. It doesn't fucking matter, does it, really? I mean, the bottom line is, generally speaking, in California, and I don't know if it's different in Northern California versus Southern California, but I'm in Southern California. And it looks like for 1 adult, 1 child, $351. For 3 people, a family of 3 is how she termed it, $714. So this woman she has 11 children. So let's just do a little bit of math. 714 minus 351 equals 363. I don't know. They give you an increase of $300 just for 1 more person? That doesn't make sense to me. You only give them $351 for 2 people. Why would they increase it well over that amount? 714. I don't think that wetback was right. And I wouldn't be surprised if she wasn't, because they're usually wrong about a lot of things. You know, they aren't that bright. But anyways, 363 is the difference. That's over what you would pay for 2 people. That increases over by $12 what you would pay for 2 people. It doesn't make sense that they would increase it $363 for 3 people. But anyways, okay, let's just scale it back a little and say that the increase per extra person is another $150. Let's just cut that in half, or $180. Let's cut it in half. So let's say that that's the increase. So already 3 people, 714. And we're going to add, because we have to include the mother as well. So I'm counting 12 kids plus the mother. That's 11 kids plus the mother. That's 12 people that have to be taken care of. And I'm at 3 people right now. So we're going to add 9 more people at 180. 180, that's our increase by 9, equals 1620. That's just for the 9 people. Now we add the 714 for the other 3 people, and we have $23.34 a month. $23.34 a month And by the way, this woman, I don't think she lives in California. Hold on a second. This is coming from some guy in Detroit. So let's just hear the story. And then what I'm going to do is look and see how much it would actually cost to live in whatever city she's in. But let's go with the story for right now.
Here's a follow to an 8 on your side wants to know story that we first told you about last night. A woman living in a small motel room with 12 children has a new place to stay tonight. The children have food, new clothes, and beds to sleep on. News Channel 8's Jeff Patterson's been working on this for the past couple of days, and he joins us now with the very latest development. Jeff?
Gail, 37-year-old Angel Adams has 15 children. 12 of them are still living with her, and when we met, they were staying in a small motel room. That difficult situation has now changed for the better.
It's full.
12 children, 1 mother, 1 bathroom, and just 2 beds. That's how we found Angel Adams and her family this week. It was a bit chaotic until Nick Cox, the regional director for the Department of Children and Families, got involved.
Because clearly you love these kids.
And Cox was aware of Adams' long history of dealing with social service agencies and knew there were problems, but said he could not turn his back on the 12 children. He found a place for them to stay at a Kids Place in Brandon. Kids Place is a not-for-profit, privately funded facility to help children in need.
And we help children that have been newly removed from their homes due to abuse or neglect. We have focused on sibling groups, trying to keep them together as a family unit until a more permanent solution can be found.
When we arrived today, all 12 children had new clothes. They were given new shoes, had a chance to eat, and toys to play with.
Well, when we got here yesterday, the children noticed they had their own beds.
It was a big difference for Angel Adams and her family.
They love the playground. When we were coming in, they loved this big playground.
It's the kind of situation a Kids Place was founded to deal with.
Prior to our existence, often sibling groups were broken up and sent to different foster homes. And when you have a group that comes in together and they can stay intact as a family, that really helps them adjust. Their transition here is much easier on them.
But the housing here is only temporary. So today, Nick Cox of DCF, along with the Sheriff's Office, Hillsborough Kids Incorporated, Guardian Ad Litem, and others met with Adams to set up a more permanent situation.
Basically, Hillsborough Kids pulled off a miracle. Got some housing for the mother that will be suitable for the children, that will work, that mom should be able to sustain herself in.
There had been a problem with Adams and her family getting housing because she owed several $1,000s to the Tampa Housing Authority. Hillsborough Kids Incorporated worked all of that out today, so now Adams and her children will be able to move into a home in about a week. In the Tampa newsroom, I'm Jeff Patterson, News Channel 8.
Okay, so this is interesting on so many levels because we have a woman here who is clearly irresponsible. I mean, not only is she irresponsible with having all these kids that she can't afford to take care of, but she's clearly irresponsible with her money. Otherwise, she wouldn't be owing, thousands of dollars to the housing authority. If you want to snub people, you can snub your credit cards because you can always get more. You can snub your bank because you can always change it. But why would you snub an organization or an entity that has control over you having the ability to house yourself and your children? So obviously she's not bright either. But some people would say, $2,334 a month, that's not enough for me to say that she's on welfare just for the money. Well, I don't know. I mean, is it more than what she could make if she were on her own without all those children? Maybe. I mean, as you can see, she's not a bright woman. She doesn't make smart decisions. She could have gotten an abortion. Abortion is legal everywhere in this country, as far as I know. She could have gotten an abortion. There's a little bitty baby right here, still on the bottle. You're going to tell me, oh, and this one's little. This little boy here is little. This little girl here is little. The one that's sitting on her lap. The one that's here is small. Where are the fathers? Where is the father or where are the fathers? And more than likely, it's plural. So, you know, I'm not even looking at this from a money standpoint, like a welfare standpoint, because like I said, as long as we're giving bailouts to big corporations and making millionaires out of executives who aren't accountable for any losses that they cause us to have as consumers, I don't really have a problem with what she's getting in terms of welfare. What I have a problem with is women like this, and it goes across the board, who continue to have children out of wedlock that they cannot afford to take care of. And this is just one example. This is just one example. And, you know, people can say whatever they want to, but to me, this is child abuse. And it's child abuse because you do not have a stable place for these kids to sleep. The news report sort of insinuated that they, you know, had just gotten some food. So obviously there were days that they would go without food. That's the implication. This is child abuse. They're sharing, I mean, there's 12 people in that room and they're sharing 2 beds, so that's 6 to a bed. How is that even possible? And then what are you creating as a result of that? Incest, possibly? I mean, you have older children mixing with younger children. That's a very possible thing that could happen. No, I just... This problem is so much more than just, you know, she's getting money from the state. So much more than that. You know, why is this woman having children? I mean, really little ones, and there's no man around. Obviously, she didn't get artificially inseminated like Nadia Suleiman. No, this woman obviously made a baby with a man. The old-fashioned way. And where is he? Where are any of the fathers of these children? It's unbelievable. And I'm always amazed when I see stories like this. Because this is I don't even want to call it parenting. I was going to say this is parenting at its worst. But it's not even parenting. She has no clue about what parenting is about. She's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At least 5, if not 6 of those kids on the front row are in diapers. Where's she getting the money to pay for that? And where is the money going that she does get? You know... It's just amazing, the choices that people make. And I'm not going to say that this is a black woman's choice, because obviously women from different backgrounds, ethnicities, make the same stupid kind of choices. So I don't want to, you know, go there with the black woman thing, like I'm sure people will try and do. But I just think it's a stupid, stupid woman that would put herself in this kind of situation when you have choices to do other things, like get an abortion, like use birth control, like get married before you continue to have 11 children. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what's going on with the mentality of people in this country. I mean, you know, my great-great-grandmother, I was told, had a lot of children, 10 or 11. But she was married. And her husband worked, and so did she. They probably didn't have much, but they were in a home, their own home, and they took care of all of their children, independent of the state. what is the lesson here? I just feel like there should be some kind of lesson, some kind of message here. And the message ought to be, wait until you are married. This is going to be my message. Wait until you are married, in a stable marriage, and you have job stability. Whether it is working for someone or working for yourself, you have income stability before you go and do something like this. Because the only thing that you're doing is putting your children in danger. Mentally and emotionally and psychologically. I'm not even talking about physically, which is, of course, another factor. I mean, she's a single woman with 11 kids. If something goes down, how fast is she going to be able to move with 11 children that she has to, you know, have move with her? You got to get out of Dodge. You got to get out of Dodge. That's just it. And it's hard to get out of Dodge when you got, you know, 11 kids following behind you. I don't know, but I just think that women need to think more seriously about being married first, being cognizant of who you're making children with, because obviously these losers that she made children with are not around. She obviously couldn't call on any of them for help. Otherwise, why is she in a hotel room, a motel room, with 11 kids? The newscast didn't even address where the other kids are, because she obviously has 15. Now, I don't know if the other kids are grown and just, you know, on their own, or if they're in foster care. I don't know. It wasn't addressed. But the bottom line is, this is insanity. This is absolute insanity. You just don't do that to people. She should have made a wiser choice. And this kind of ties into what I wanted to talk about in terms of forced sterilization. This woman has obviously been on welfare for a long time. And obviously over the last 15 years. She has 15 children. I think it's safe to assume over the last 16 years or better, she's been on welfare. So at some point, I think that the state should be allowed to say, you know what? We need to sterilize this person. We need to sterilize her. She obviously is irresponsible. She has no husband. She obviously does not want to be married, or no one will marry her. She's continuously having children that she can't afford to take care of. The taxpayers are now taking care of her. This is not a wise person. This is not someone who realistically should be parenting children. She can't make a wise decision. So why is she being allowed to continue to have children? Let's sterilize her. You know, and you don't ask permission to sterilize these women. You just sterilize them. They don't deserve to have any children. This is just one example of the different types of women I've seen throughout the years who do not deserve to have children. They use them as some sort of safety net. And I believe that this is what's going on here. She's either using these kids to try to hold on to the men that she's, you know, making them with, or she's using them as some kind of safety net to keep her housed and keep money in her pocket, because maybe she isn't smart enough to hold down a job, or she doesn't have the mental stability to hold down a job. So she has to find a way to do it. And maybe that means using children as a source of stability. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Just throwing something out there. But I do think that, you know, she needs to be sterilized. I do believe that. And you know, it's funny because in this country you will have the ACLU, all of these women's rights groups, you know, some of everybody, civil rights. All these people will come out of the woodwork if anyone were to ever propose something of that nature. This is wrong. This is against her civil rights, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it would go on and on and on. But guess what's going to happen? If one of those kids, or more than one of those kids, especially the boys, especially the little black boys, go out and they start selling drugs, they start pimping hoes, they start robbing banks, they start doing illegal things. Because, first of all, listen, what kind of upbringing is she going to be able to give them when this is all that they see? You know? First thing that they're going to think is, I need to make sure I can make some money. And the best way I know how to make it is by doing X, Y, and Z. Selling dope, robbing banks, doing whatever I got to do to get money. But see, those groups, they don't think about that kind of stuff. They only think about the immediate moment, which is you are taking away the right of a woman to reproduce. They aren't thinking about this woman and how incapable she is of actually parenting and raising children. And that maybe she shouldn't have that privilege anymore because she's obviously abused it. And I think that this is something that people really need to look at before they start getting on their high horse and talking about what rights she has as a woman. You ought to think about the rights of the children. And those rights are being infringed upon when things like this happen. I don't care what anyone says. If I had the ability to do that, it would be done. Sterilized immediately. You're coming to the state for help. You obviously can't help yourself. Sterilized. Now, if she's, you know, somebody that can self-sustain, you can have as many children as you want. Shit, order more. Get some from Africa. You know? Get more kids. If you can sustain yourself. And them. But when you have to go to different organizations, you aren't paying your bills, you aren't taking care of yourself or your children, you must be sterilized. And if I see this woman's face in the news again, because if she has a child, another child, she will be in the news. I'm going to be looking to somebody for some answers. And I'm not going to be looking to her because obviously she's not intelligent enough to keep her legs closed. But I'm going to be looking to somebody for some answers. Anyways, that's my take on it. Leave your comments. Let me know what you guys think. And what would your solution be? I mean, my solution is sterilization, but what would your solution be? Jane Speaks. I'm out.